Hey, this is Steven Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus AEW Dynamite. This is from September 29th, 2021. I'm going to be going segment by segment tonight, just letting you know. Looking forward to a great one. Oh, it's fine. So, just started with Adam Cole, baby, against Jungle Boy. I knew it would be good, but it ended up being great. Super fantastic. Jungle Boy really got to show his stuff. A subtle kick out of the Panama Sunrise as an FU to NXT, no doubt. And then we ended it with Adam Cole getting that win, and then the Elite coming out to join him for a little bit of intrigue betwixt the commercial breaks. So AEW Dynamite off to their usual fast start. And of course we officially opened with CM Punk coming out and then going to the commentary. He did a good job. Again, they do a good job making sure Jim Ross still feels like the lead voice, but they cover his weaknesses and emphasize his strengths, which is how you're supposed to do it, baby. So again, when you operate out of strength, you don't have to give anything away. So there's the Elite cutting a long promo. There's Bryan Danielson. Long segment with Kenny Omega teasing that we're not going to get the match, but Bryan's going to force him into the match and then brings back up. We don't even have a dust him up fight. All we have is a great segment showcasing a lot of their huge stars all getting the rub off of each other. Now we go into the segment of the show where the matches aren't as great, but they will sustain until the main event. And not to mention, when you announce a match for Rampage, because the crowd is going to get to see it that night, right? They pre-tape Rampage right after Dynamite. That means you don't get the disappointment of, oh, we don't get to see that match. That's something that they know they're going to get to see in addition. It's very, very smart. I'm going to talk more about that later on at another time. So, the next match. Interesting stuff here, right? Dante Martin teaming with Matt Sydal. I told you on AEW Dark how much I enjoyed this team, how it seemed like that they were preparing them for bigger stuff, and sure enough, they had a match with Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson. Again, an exhibition completely for Dante Martin. Just looked every bit the star. Got pinned by Lee Johnson, and then afterwards, Cody trying to cut a promo about calling out Malachi Black and Arn cutting him off, saying that Cody's a loser. Arn with this great line about, you're the kind of person that's like, take my car, don't hurt me. I'm the kind of guy who takes out a gun and splatters the guy's brains. I don't coach losers. Come on, Lee, come with me. Cutting Cody off at the pass. What does this mean? I'm not sure, but I'm just glad that the angle with the factory has stopped. And honestly, that the Malachi Black one has stopped. I think it's time for Malachi Black to move on to something else. And so this did this. Nice and neat. Boy, say what you want, but again, Dynamite operating out of strength. Operating out of strength, not giving you too much, advancing angles, advancing storylines, and it's a pleasure to see. And so far, they haven't fallen into that trap of doing the same thing again and again and again. Let's see if we can keep that up for the rest of the show. Man, so a lot happened there. So you get Moxley teaming with Darby Allin, teaming with Eddie Kingston against Anthony Green, who you knew who was going to take the pin in Bear Country. So a nice little exhibition. Really, Dynamite is all about, they have such a huge roster in AEW. So they're about getting the stars out there at this point in the show in the center. Then we had a very emotional, you know, when you get the entire Dark Order out there with Orange Cassidy against the Hardy Family Office, and nice little angle there where Uno was leaving and abandoning the team, and then they brought out Brody Lee's wife and kid, Tay Conti, and Anna as well. Very nice moment, a great way to reunite the Dark Order. A lot of people thought it was going to be Adam Page returning that would do that, but I think it's better the way that they did it there, really tying it all into Brody Lee. It's really nice. And then, of course, you're going to have Anna and Tay Conti in a tag match tonight, I believe, in the Hottie Contest. Yo, so we're having the hottie tag match at last, and before that, we had a promo from. I would love to tell you that I am being won over by Dan Lambert and American Top Team and all that stuff. Not so much, but it was nice to hear Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page cut a promo. Again, they're operating at a strength, building up all these promos. I do find it interesting that they are. Not kind of pushing the Brody Lee thing with Tay Conti and Anna Jay, which tells me that they're probably not going to win the match. Let's see if I am right. And I also failed to mention the promo earlier from the Lucha Brothers and Andrade, where Andrade said he's going to find a couple of people to challenge them, a couple of luchadors to challenge them for the AAA tag titles, and then presumably somebody else for himself. Andrade, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what's your point in AEW right now? Because he should be one of the guys that everybody's excited about, like one of the 6 or 7 guys that you want to see. Oh my God, Andrade against Bryan Danielson. Instead, that thread has been completely lost. So they need to get him back on track. Oh man, so MJF. A lot of people won't like it because he goes for like the biggest, cheapest heat, but I think you got to distinguish yourself as a heel, and that's apparently going to be his deal. So the promo with Darby was very good, really marking the improvement of Darby Allin's promos and setting up, again, another angle for the future. The match between the Hottie Bodies went down in a different way than I expected, though it was very nice to see Anna Jay and Tay Conti win, and also Hikaru Shida set up a match with Serena Deeb. Next week's Dynamite looks amazing. And again, boy, they're just rolling and rolling, and then they're going to go into Miro against Sammy Guevara, which is going to be our main event. I might stick around and watch Rhodes to the Top, but only if my friend and I can make fun of it. But maybe I'll make that part of the report. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, I love being surprised. It happens so rarely, but Sammy Guevara winning that title, dude, my mind just opens with possibilities. It's very exciting. But now it's Rhodes to the Top. I'm going to watch the first segment and give you my thoughts to close this thing out.
Excited about it.
Really interesting, right? So I stuck through the first segment of Rhodes to the Top, which went about 15 minutes. What can I say about the show? When they focused on like the different cast of characters at AEW and just weird little things like Lee Johnson and Julia Hart going up to Cody and going, "We're dating." I like that stuff. The little drama that they're generating. I'm glad they're centering the first episode around the promo that started people turning against Cody. I think that's an interesting way to go. And now they've hooked me. And I also thought having the interview with Sammy Guevara, who won the TNT title, right before the commercial break was a great way to sort of tie in and reward the people who stuck through Dynamite and then said, okay, I guess I'll give the show a chance. It really makes you feel like the two are intertwined and connected, which is probably a smart way to go. So far, I gotta say, like, production levels on the show are a little better than I thought they would be. And the angles that they're taking are a little more interesting than I thought they would be. And I don't want to say I like the show, so I'm not saying that yet. I will also say that Sammy basically responding to Bobby Fish, and then he's going to wrestle Bobby Fish next week and bring back this idea of the open challenge of the TNT title. Again, another great, man, when AEW does it right, they do it right. I am worried about what does this mean for Miro, but I also think Top Team kind of being lurking in the wings to challenge Sammy is a much better thing for them to do than to stand there smiling while Dan cheap heats us to death. So far I gotta say little surprises, and they're figuring out a way to try to make this show relevant. So I will go from thinking that there's no way that this show gets renewed or maybe even finishes their first season to I can see how things could possibly work. But goodness knows, even if I decided to stop watching right now, I would have about 9,000 chances to watch because I looked ahead. It's showing tonight, and then it's repeating right after this, and then it's showing on TBS tomorrow, and then it's showing on TNT at like 1 in the morning of the day after. So they're definitely giving this thing the college try. Certainly, nobody can complain that they're not. And maybe I'll evaluate the show in its entirety later on. For now, I'm going to put this report up. Cool.
And remember,
Randy's superstar vagina.